Well, it's that time, folks. It's that time. So our former baby girl, Amberlynn Reid, is running. Yes, I said she's running. She not walking. She not dangling ankle anywhere. She is running back to the LCU, folks. Can you imagine that? She had to go back to a job that she got fired for or quit or caused a whole drama over there to get removed. It couldn't happen to a better individual, folks. I was like, I woke up today. Wait, I think it was yesterday. Whenever Apathetic Facts posted the screenshot, that's when I woke up. I said, yo, what's going on? You see Amberlynn Reid, she running back to the LCU? And I was all hype. I was like, I got to make a video tomorrow or something like that because I don't know what's going to happen. She probably get fired before she get hired again. That's how it is. It really show you that she have nothing. She have no capabilities to doing this stuff on her own. In the past, she might have had it, right? But it's no longer happening. It's like, when you was like the most popular kid in school, in high school, everybody's like, oh, that's the person walking. That's the cool person. But once you left school and you found out how reality was and you wasn't the popular person you thought you was, then you were like, whoa, this is the real world. I got to change my stuff up. But Amberlynn Reid is never going to do that. You know why? Because she's trapped in YouTube, right? It's like a permanent high school. So she's not going to try anything different. And think about it. When she does try something a little bit different, what does she do? The same thing somewhere else. And think about it. When she went over to TikTok this time, she was doing the same thing she was doing on the LCU. But it is even worse because she just doing memes of herself from the past. You can see she had all them journals. She write what? 600,000 million billion hours of journals and typed them and retyped and handwritten them just because she wanted to write them. If she would have put that effort in her YouTube channel, I want you to think about it, people, right? Think about it. If Amberlynn Reid put all the effort she did in her journals and all the lying and all the drama and the fake nonsense that she'd been doing, she would have like a million billion views or something like that, millions of subscribers. People would be like liking her videos and everything. She would have never got demonetized. But you can see how it is. She got the same 250,000 people, right? Probably 99% of them people don't even log in anymore to YouTube. They just tired, they retired, they moved on with their life. They just never unchecked the subscribe button, and they never gonna come back. And that's the saddest thing. She gonna have like 1% of her audience watching when she have so many subscribers, and she could have changed that. You know why? Because sometimes you gotta change your, how can I say, your content on YouTube so new people could come and find you. But what she doing over here is the same thing. Like, really, anybody been here long enough, they can see if you went back 10 years and you turn on a video today and you put them side by side, they ain't nothing changed, folks. Nothing at all. And that's the saddest part. But should we be surprised? Because we know our former baby girl, Amberlynn Reid, is one of the laziest persons. In my opinion, she is one of the laziest YouTubers. Like, she put no effort at all. And it's not just on YouTube, because I was like, let me see what Amberlynn Reid is up to. So I ran over there to the Cameo that she makes $90 1 minute, $50, $25, $60, and all that nonsense. So you don't know what you're going to get. One day is $100, one day is $2 to get a Cameo. It's just out of control, right? So I had checked in on Amberlynn Reid's Cameo a bunch of days ago, and it says she hadn't been around in over like 8 or 9 days. So she wasn't even, how can I say, doing what people was asking. They trying to pay her to do cameos, and she just disappeared once again. That's not shocking. Once again from Cameo for 8 or 9 days. So I did my detectiveness, and I took this screenshot right here. Look at it. Boom. You see right there, and it says just came back. So she has made her, how can I say, her appearance again, and we are now worthy. Yes, folks, the audience is worthy to pay her $60, $90 for her to go, happy birthday, and pronounce your name 75 times and then say, well, I got to go to bingo. I got to go to Discord. I'll see you later. Peace out. And that's the nonsense she posts, right? So she has been on her 50th vacation. This is another 8 or 9 day vacation. Can you imagine that Amberlynn Reid has 50 vacations a year? She doesn't show up. She must have invested in stocks or something like that, stocks and bonds, and she has gold equities or whatever nonsense, and she just rich as can be, and she don't need YouTube, right? She don't even take Cameo. People paying $60. She ain't got no time in 8 or 9 days to even get to that. She like, I got other things to do that's better than giving these people a Cameo, that whole 1 minute or 62 seconds of nonsense that I'm going to give them, they gonna have to wait. I'm going to put them on hold, and when I get to it as former baby girl Amberlynn Reid, then I'm gonna give it to them. That's what she's gonna do, folks. That's the type of person. She's the hardest work on YouTube. Sometimes I go to the dictionary or an encyclopedia and I look up the word hardest work in YouTube, and this is what I see. Boom, right there. That's the hardest worker right there. Amberlynn Reid, she's the number one. That's it. Like nobody else work. Like everybody on YouTube needs to just quit. You know, there's no way to even reach her level, right? I bought 12 ladders and I climbed to my roof. Boom. No, I couldn't even be on her level. She could just quit this whole thing, write a book. It's going to be Amberlynn Reid's Guide to YouTube, how to make millions upon millions of dollars on YouTube by doing absolutely nothing, not even logging in. Imagine all the people that I buy that book. I want to see what she have to say. And I know what it is. It would be a book. It would have no words in there. It would open in the front. It would close in the back. And it would be blank in the middle. That's how her book would be. So think about it. She don't want to do cameos. She doesn't want to do, I don't even know what she's trying to do. Her YouTube channel, I think, got 72 days left before she could even try to be monetized. So she's running back to the LCU. And what can she possibly give to the LCU over there? We already seen everything over there. She did what? 4 months of nothing, disappearing, going in Discord, talking to people and trashing people and being mean. And she gonna be returning as an intern. So I think that's just like a side character. What is she gonna just appear like? How can I say, surprise, I'm Amberlynn Reid on every single channel and everybody's supposed to chase her around to find what's going on? That's not gonna happen, because if I've been here long enough and I have been paying attention, right? I've been through that whole LCU stage with everybody else here, and everybody else was burnt out, right? Everybody is now doing their own thing, right? They tired of that nonsense. And if she gonna come on her community post and make some big, how can I say, post, I'm on the LCU, I'm an intern, you's all be showing up. It's like having a yard sale during a thunder lightning storm and flooding. Nobody's showing up. They're gonna be like, oh, Amberlynn's over there, congratulations, I'm gonna sit over here and wait till I'll read it online, the results. That's what it is. Amberlynn Reid would have to come back with something so devastating, so drastic, that we would have to watch. And there is nothing at this moment. Like, I can't even think about it. I went over all the years I'm watching. I'm like, what could she possibly do to come over here and make me run over there and make the audience come back to see what she's going to do? And I can't even think of even one thing. Like, I gave her a little bit, like a little effort. I said, maybe, nope. And then I just cut it off. I was like, no, never going to happen. Then I even put more effort. I said, you know, there have to be something. And then I said, we went through the whole Tommy thing, right? The whole Tommy, the arguing, all the breakups, all this nonsense. That's not going to work. Nobody cares about that no more, right? Even Amberlynn Reid doesn't care, right? That she got broke up and she said she broke up with Tommy and all this nonsense. That's still. The only thing that could possibly happen is Amberlynn Reid comes back shortly. Then she says, oh, me and Tommy got back together. It's the best thing. We're going to move in together, which we know that's not going to happen, right? And we got engaged, right? This is where she can go. There's nothing else, right? The ball is rolling down the hill and there's only pins at the bottom to hit. And these are the only ones left. We have engagement and then we're going to get married. And we can only drag this nonsense on so long before they say, our engagement broke up, somebody cheated, somebody didn't cheat, we're not getting married. And then the worst case scenario, somehow they possibly get married. And you know, 100%, 0%, no. It's never going to happen, folks, but let's think it did. Let's just put it in the comments. Amberlynn Reid's going to get married, maybe some energy, she'll get married, and we'll get some content, but it's not going to happen. But say it did. They get married, I give it 45 seconds. I was rounding off. It was like 42. And I said, I'm going to give them the extra 3 seconds right here because that's as long as I think. And that's as much as I'm giving. I'm not even giving a minute. I'm not wasting a minute of my time to think this is going to happen. But think about it. This is the only 2 outcomes we got: engagement and marriage. And then after that, what is the finale? What do we have here, folks? Anybody write in the comments, what is the true finale between Tommy and Amberlynn Reid and the LCU? What could possibly happen to bring us excitement? And I want you to write it here, Nothing. Nothing. But it doesn't matter. You could just write nothing in there and I'll understand. So now that we're done talking about all that nonsense with Amberlynn Reid, we're going to move on to the one and only. The 19-time mukbang dumpster diver herself, Foodie Kenobi. You know, she's doing her, well, I can't even explain this, folks. This, what is she actually doing? I was watching the screen. I have no clue. I just see, look right here. Boom. Sideways. That's it. Sideways every day. All day long, constant, day and night, 5 a.m., 2 a.m., 1 in the afternoon, 9 a.m., every single moment of the day, sideways laying like this. Think about it, folks. This is even worse content than former baby girl Amberlynn Reid. At least she is sitting up, or standing sometimes. She's sitting and she's standing for my baby girl, Amberlynn Reid, and she's saying something and she's trolling people or whatever like this. There is no reason that I have to have my monitor turn sideways to even watch this. This doesn't make no sense. I turn my iPhone back and forth and it keep flipping the screen. I can't even get to see what's going on. So I just turn it and I'll put it down and I'll listen because this is unwatchable. Like, I want you to think about it. If you went on Netflix or you went to the theater, right? You spend all that money in the theater, you walk in there, you sit down, you put your legs up, you order a nice meal right there and a big popcorn and you start eating and everything and the screen came on and you seen the whole movie sideways and you got to turn your neck all the way like that. You know, like the straw with the bendy in the thing and your neck is bent like that to watch this whole video. That's insulting to the audience. And she isn't doing this once in a blue, right? It just happened or, you know, the camera was wrong. This is every day. I want you to think about it. You imagine you came to work. You sitting down working, right? And somebody laying on the table there all day long and not working. This is what she's doing. Like, it's insulting to everybody around you. And the sad part, as a content creator, YouTuber, Instagram, TikTok, whatever you do right there, and you trying to make people happy, you trying to bring them content, right? Your job is to please the audience, right? That's the job, is to please the audience. There is not one single person. Maybe there's one person, it's Foodie Kenobi's sock account that she praises herself on and she says, I love watching you sideways. Maybe that's her over there, but there's nobody. There's nobody that can deal with this. Everyone is accepting to deal with this, right? Because they have no other option. She's not going to change it. Like, it's not a lot to ask how can I say, the YouTuber to turn their camera or at least sit up in the chair and look at the audience with respect, right? Like, hi, I'm looking at you. You know, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for donating and giving me super chats and money and whatever they give Foodie Kenobi there. They are over there to be pleased. And she doesn't have any respect, or how can I say, she's not going to give them pleasure. She's just going to give them whatever she does, right? Think about it. I was watching the other day what she was doing. She was just, how can I say, releasing herself, her methane all over the video. She just kept methaning the whole time and thought it was funny and laughing and hoping that how can I say, the guy that stands next to her in the videos that they think they're married was watching and cheering or whatever nonsense it is. This is what she's doing. And sometimes I just sit down and watch the videos because I know there's no content right there. And I say, let me look at Foodie Kenobi in this situation. If I would say the guy that wanted to be with her, right? And I'm like, you know, wow, this is a great YouTuber. And I see how she acts and I see the things she does in camera right here. I would be so turned off. I would be like, it's not even funny. Maybe the first time 10 months ago, 10 years ago, it happened accidentally. And I was like, oh, that's funny, whatever. But not for 10 years doing this and just getting worse and worse and with no care. Like, she doesn't care at all. Think about it. If she had a bad camera and it was blurry, right? And bad audio, right? She didn't buy a camera that was good and she had bad audio, but her content was exciting and we could watch it. We could barely see it. We're like, wow, this is the funniest, greatest thing I've ever seen. People will deal with that, right? But this other stuff, no one wants to deal with. I want anybody in the comment section, do you go to Foodie Kenobi's videos to hear her release methane all over the channel and just giggle and laugh and do all this nonsense? Probably not, right? Maybe there's a couple of people that are excited by this, but it's not the majority of people in this community. I've been here a long time. I read the comments a million times. I read comments all over the place. I've been watching, right? And if I know Girl World, we don't roll like that at all. We don't play them games. We come here to hear the drama, gossip, giggle, and have fun. We're not over here to play games like the class clown used to do in the back and make noises and stuff like that. And everybody turn around like you disrupted the class. And if I know anything, Foodie Kenobi is a disruption to her own channel. And that's not how it is. That a content creator should not get in their own way. They should not be blocking the audience and doing stuff to make the audience not happy, right? Nobody comes on here to make the audience mad. Maybe former baby girl Amberlynn Reid and Foodie Kenobi. Maybe that's their strategy. But I have watched this community for a long time, and I bet you have all watched it too. I have watched the smallest channels with almost no subscribers. I have watched the biggest channels with the most subscribers. And if I know one thing, they not getting in their way. They trying to please the audience. They trying to make everybody happy. They trying to give them the news, the gossip, and the drama that they here for. They not here to play these games that Foodie and Amber are doing right here. here? Because it's burnt out. It's like class clowns in high school that move on to a job. And you know what happens? You just can't do it forever, right? Because what happens? You end up fired and nobody's laughing at your jokes. And that's what they both have become. And that's the saddest part. They could have made a big thing about themselves. They could have made the improvements. They could have had the greatest channels, and they choose the easy way out. They choose to just take that money, greed, super chats, gimme, 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 gimme. And what do they give the audience? Nothing. Well, that's the end of the video, folks, and I hope you enjoyed. Have a great day. Later.